if you don't like what you're reaping, maybe it's time to change what you're sowing. If you don't like what you're reaping, the results you're getting in life, maybe it's time to start changing what you're sowing. As this brings us to something else we got to get about this law of sowing and reaping, that's that you will only reap what you sow. You will reap what you sow. A few years ago, I shared with you maybe one of the most major betrayals in my life. As I was taking Austin, innocently enough, to school, and I came back, and my favorite tree in the yard. Can we show the crime scene that I came to? Do we got a picture of the crime scene? Now, I'm not going to say who is responsible for this horrible atrocity against an innocent tree. That person will remain nameless. But let's just say, man, I was struggling. I get there, and because we'd had conversations about this. I told her, listen, you can do anything. I don't care what you do with the yard. Just leave this one tree, my favorite tree in the yard, my one palm tree. And so she knew that I was a little frustrated and a little upset at times. So to kind of smooth it over, she goes, don't worry, it will grow back. It will grow back. Now, not that anyone's counting, but it's been about 543 days since this palm tree was removed. And still, there's no palm tree. And you know why? Because even though the soil is great for it, right? The ground works well for it. Neither of us have planted any seeds for it. Because being honest, it actually does look better without that tree. So, but let me make it a little more practical for you. You can come to a great church and struggle to ever get anything out of it as long as you're never putting anything into it. Never putting any time into it. Never putting any investment into it, never putting any prayer into it. You can serve a great God and struggle to feel like you're getting anything out of that relationship with Him because you're never putting any time into that relationship through His Word and through prayer and through community. Can I say this? Don't blame God for not producing what you're not planting. Don't blame God for not producing what you're not planting, because you got to put something into the ground if you want something out of it. St. Augustine once said it like this, said, without God we cannot, without us God will not. As just as important as seeding the clouds of our dreams and hopes by actually sowing into them time, sowing into them prayer, sowing into them faith, is also making sure that the seed that you sow is going to produce the harvest that you desire and you hope to reap.